All right, let's just get right into it. We put so much trust in modern medicine, right? We count on it to save our lives. But have you ever really stopped to ask where all that knowledge actually comes from? Today, we're going to unseal the archives. We're opening the files on some of the most deeply unsettling experiments in the history of science.
I really want you to just let this question sit with you for a bit. What if our greatest cures came from our darkest crimes? It's the central, really uncomfortable question we're going to be digging into.
You know, in the world of bioethics, they actually have a name for this stuff. They call it culturally radioactive. It's information that is so tainted by how it was discovered that we just try to bury it, to forget it even exists. We're about to open some forbidden files from a place the source material calls Collection Omega.
Okay, so our first file. This one takes us right into the thick of the Cold War, to a surgeon who decided he was going to challenge the very definition of life and death.
So picture this, Moscow, 1954. In a lab buzzing with all this machinery, you've got Dr. Vladimir Demikhov. And he wasn't just doing surgery, no, he was trying to make a huge philosophical statement. He wanted to prove that a living thing was, well, just a collection of parts you could swap around.
Now this quote is what's really fascinating here, because it shows you the mindset. The source calls him the architect, and when you read his notes, you see this chilling detachment. For him, the question of, should I do this? It wasn't even on the table. It was completely buried by the fact that he could.
The procedure itself, it was a biological nightmare. He grafted the smaller dog, Shavka, right onto the larger one, Brodiaga. And then, both heads woke up. They were both conscious. The smaller head reacted, it even drank milk, but it just dribbled out of a disconnected tube. The whole creature was this anatomical impossibility. It didn't last. It died just a few days later.
And this right here, this is the dilemma at the heart of it. It wasn't just about cruelty. It was about pure scientific hubris. Those dogs, they weren't patients. They were just a canvas for proving a point. That temptation, that seduction of the impossible, it just erased every single ethical line.
So let's see how this theme carries over into our next file. We're moving from animal experiments to something deeply personal, a story of betrayal that happened right here in America.
This is Eb Cade, and I want you to remember his name. He wasn't some volunteer, he wasn't terminally ill, he was just an ordinary guy, a cement mixer, who got into a car accident and had the terrible luck of ending up in a hospital that was secretly working for the Manhattan Project.
Just look at this timeline. It's horrifying. He goes in for broken bones and they tell him he's getting a vitamin treatment. But instead, they're injecting him with plutonium. The doctors didn't treat him, they harvested him. They literally pulled 15 of his teeth, took samples of his bones, all to find out what the core ingredient of an atomic bomb does to a living human body.
And how did they sleep at night? Well, this is how. This is from a declassified memo. They argued his life was of, and I'm quoting, low utility, but the data from him would be priceless. It's that cold, brutal logic of sacrificing one person for the greater good without ever asking the one.
This brings us to the core ethical breakdown. It's the commodification of a human life. The scientists didn't see Eb Cade as a patient, as a person. He was a walking data point. Their quest for knowledge turned a man into an object, a thing to be studied.
Okay, so we've gone from the body to the mind, and our third file might just be the most twisted of all, because it's about systematically destroying a soul just to understand something like love.
So this researcher, Harry Harlow, he wanted to prove that affection was a basic biological need. He created these two surrogate mothers for baby monkeys. One was made of cold wire, but it had a bottle of milk. The other was just soft cloth, offering nothing but comfort. And the results were overwhelming. The baby monkeys chose comfort over food, clinging to that cloth mother even when they were literally starving.
But then it got so much worse. He built something he called the pit of despair to induce total depression. He designed evil mothers that would abuse the baby monkeys with blasts of air or sharp spikes. And the most disturbing result of all, the abused babies didn't run away. They just clung tighter to the very thing that was hurting them.
And this gets to the dark, twisted paradox at the center of his work. In order to scientifically prove the need for love and comfort, the researcher had to become a monster who withheld it at every turn. It is the absolute weaponization of innocence.
So, a two-headed dog, a poisoned man, and tortured monkeys. Why? Why did we just walk through all these horrors?
Because this isn't just about history. This is about us. It's our inheritance.
Look at this. You can draw a straight, unbroken line from these atrocities to knowledge we rely on every single day. Demikhov's gruesome experiments, they directly paved the way for organ transplants. Ebcade's suffering, that helped establish the radiation safety limits that protect workers today. Harlow's cruelty, that gave us the very foundation of attachment theory.
And here's the conclusion we just can't escape. We are the beneficiaries of atrocity. Every time we benefit from these incredible advances, we are, in some small way, connected to it. We live in a medical world that's built on a foundation of bones. Our utopia is a haunted house.
So that forces a really tough practical question on all of us. What do we do now? We have the data. Do we use it? I mean, if we throw it out, doesn't that just mean the victims suffered for absolutely nothing?
But if we do use it, aren't we kind of validating the horrific things that were done to get it? Does our acceptance of the ends somehow forgive the means? It's a real trap.
And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. The real poison in these old files isn't just that they show us monsters. It's that they show us the cold, terrifying logic that created those monsters, and then they whisper, forcing us to ask ourselves if, given the same circumstances, we really would have been any different.
Please like and subscribe.